Three female suicide bombers and a roadside bomb struck Shiite pilgrims taking part in a massive religious procession in Baghdad on Monday. Police said at least 32 people were killed and 102 wounded. The attacks occurred in quick succession in the early morning in the mainly Shiite Karata district, as tens of thousands of Shiite worshippers streamed toward the pilgrimage site in Kazamiya, northern Baghdad. Insurgents increasingly use female bombers because their billowing black robes easily hide explosives and they are less likely to be searched. Since the removal in 2003 of Saddam Hussein, who was a Sunni, Shiite political parties have encouraged huge turnouts at religious festivals to display the majority sect's power in Iraq. Meanwhile, at a Kurdish rally in the northern city of Kirkuk, a bomb blast killed at least 15 people and wounded 170 others. The attack occurred while demonstrators gathered to protest a provincial elections law being debated in parliament. The law would limit the Kurds' ability to control oil-rich Kirkuk, which they consider to be part of their historical land. Last week, Kurdish parties walked out of the Iraqi parliament in protest over the proposed law. Though the law was passed 127 to 13, it was later vetoed by President Jalal Talabani, who was also a Kurd. Kirkuk is home to Kurds, Turkmen, Arabs, and smaller groups. After Monday's explosion, dozens of angry Kurds set fire to the offices of a Turkmen political party, which opposes Kurdish claims on Kirkuk. AP television pictures showed the offices of the Iraqi Turkmen Front still smoldering with burnt-out cars nearby. Though many reports claim violence in Iraq to be at its lowest point in 3 years, the political situation is still very volatile. Dr. Vali Nasser of the US-based Council on Foreign Relations told McClatchy newspapers, "People wrote the requiem for sectarian conflict and al-Qaeda in Iraq too rapidly. In the absence of a final settlement, the country is always vulnerable to regression, and we still may end up back where we were." In an article titled "Iraq, Poised to Explode" in The Nation, investigative journalist and author Robert Dreyfus writes, "Despite the optimism of the neocons, which has pushed mainstream media coverage to be increasingly flowery about Iraq's political progress, in fact, the country is poised to explode. There are at least 3 flashpoints for an explosion. The first is the brewing crisis over Kirkuk, where the pushy Kurds are demanding control and Iraq's Arabs are resisting. The second is in the west and Anbar, where the US-backed Sons of Iraq Sahwa, or Awakening movement, is moving to take power against the Iraqi Islamic Party, a fundamentalist Sunni bloc. And the third is the restive Mahdi army of Muqtada al-Sadr, which is chafing at the gains made by its Iranian-backed rival, the Islamic Supreme Council of Iraq."